Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to our class of Managing Sustainable Supply Chain. In our last lecture, we examined the environmental impact of warehouses, focusing on energy use and how warehouse design can help reduce emissions. We looked at the insulation, lighting and temperature control as key factors in reducing energy consumption and improving sustainability in warehousing. Today, we will dive deeper into the practical side of sustainable warehousing, exploring storage practices and waste reduction strategies. But sustainability is not just about energy. It's also about the people involved. We will also look at the social dimension of warehousing, addressing worker welfare, health, safety and ethical labor practices. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to identify storage practices that reduce waste and improve efficiency. Number 2, implement waste reduction strategies, especially in packaging and materials. Number 3, understand the social dimension of sustainable warehousing and its implications for worker welfare. Number 4, apply these principles to real-world Pakistani industries in warehousing and logistics. Let's begin with storage practices and their role in reducing waste. Okay, now think about the last time you received a package from an e-commerce store or from any store. What kind of packaging did it come in? Was it recyclable or excessive? Many modern warehouses act as cross-docking hubs or e-commerce fulfillment centers, reducing dwell time and eliminating the need for large inventories. This is a great example of reducing waste risk and holding costs. However, this practice is only effective if warehouses also focus on efficient storage practices and minimizing waste. Common sources of waste in warehouses. Warehouses generate a lot of waste. Some common sources include unpacking and repacking of goods for shipment. Void fill, the filler material used to protect items. Single-use packaging, especially plastic. And pallet waste, that is broken or unnecessary pallets. Reduction strategies for waste. Now, here are several strategies to reduce waste in warehouses. Number 1, minimize unnecessary packaging. By encouraging suppliers to deliver goods with minimal packaging, warehouses reduce their own packaging waste. Use recyclable packaging. For instance, plastic or roll cages can be used for transport, reducing reliance on single-use packaging. Recycling creates segregated waste streams for materials like cardboard, plastics and other recyclables. This way, these materials can be reused or recycled properly. In Pakistan, the grocery logistics sector like Metro Pakistan has implemented packaging reduction initiatives, moving towards reusable crates for vegetables and fruits instead of single-use packaging. Such initiatives not only reduce waste but also lower transportation cost by standardizing packaging sizes. Water use and harvesting. Another often overlooked aspect of warehouse sustainability is water use. Warehouses consume water for cleaning and employ facilities, but they also have an opportunity to integrate rainwater harvesting. With their large roof areas, warehouses are ideal locations for rainwater collection system. This water can be used for non-potable purposes like cleaning the warehouse, watering landscapes, supplying toilets by collecting and reusing rainwater, warehouses can reduce their dependence on main water, leading to cost savings and lower environmental impact. The Alanatra Distribution Center in Germany has implemented rooftop solar panels and rainwater harvesting systems, demonstrating that these sustainable practices can be incorporated even in large-scale warehouses. Similarly, large warehouses in Lahore and Karachi could also benefit from rainwater harvesting given the region's climate and water scarcity. Number 2, social dimension. When we talk about worker welfare and ethics, sustainability is not just about the environmental. It is also about the people who work in warehouses. As we strive to create more sustainable logistics systems, it is essential to consider the social dimension. This includes ensuring that warehouses are designed and managed with employee health, safety and welfare in mind. Ergonomics and workspace design. Warehouse workers are often engaged in physically demanding tasks like lifting, moving goods or operating heavy machinery. To support worker welfare, it is essential to incorporate ergonomic workspace design. This includes adjusting lifting equipment which is adjustable, proper posture support for workers, ensuring that aisles and walkways are wide enough to avoid accidents, performance targets and fair contracts. In addition to physical design, warehouses must create reasonable performance targets and fair contracts. Unrealistic performance expectations and tight deadlines can lead to worker burnout, accidents and poor mental health. Companies that impose unreasonable pressure on workers, such as those reported in Sports Direct DC in the UK, often face criticism for unethical labour practices. In contrast, ethical warehouse management practices lead to improved productivity, lower turnover and a healthier, more motivated workforce. Avoiding oppressive scheduling and monitoring. Tight delivery schedules and extreme monitoring can lead to unsafe work practices and the de-skilling of workers. Warehouse management systems must be designed to protect workers' rights while optimizing operations. For example, ensure that workers are given reasonable rest breaks. Provide training and upskilling opportunities to avoid a workforce dependent on short-term unskilled labor. For example, Daraz and Baikia, as fast-growing logistics platforms in Pakistan, are increasingly under pressure to balance operational efficiency with worker rights. As the demand for e-commerce grows, it is crucial that these companies not only focus on delivery times, but also invest in health and safety measures and ethical labor practices for the welfare of their workers. So now, let us look into some practical recommendations for managers. To create a truly sustainable warehouse, and managers should adopt life cycle assessment thinking, LCA thinking. When specifying materials, insulation and equipment, adopt LCA thinking to ensure that both embodied emissions from construction and material and operational emissions from energy use are considered. This helps identify the most efficient solutions in the long term. And prioritize high impact, low cost measures. Start with the low cost, high impact measures like LED lighting, sensor controls for lighting, door seals and effective insulation. These simple steps often provide a quick return on investment and can be implemented in rented facilities as well. Use warehouse management system. A warehouse management system can optimize internal travel paths, reduce unnecessary vehicle movement and improve the efficiency of pick and pack cycles, ultimately cutting energy use. Consider on-site renewables. Where roof space or land is available, consider investing in solar panels, small wind turbines or biomass system to generate on-site energy. This can significantly contribute to net zero targets. Also, design layout for higher utilization. Design warehouses for dense storage automation and efficient throughput. This reduces floor area and energy use while also improving productivity. Automated storage and retrieval systems can support higher stacking and reduce the floor space required. Implement packaging reuse programs. Encourage reusable packaging systems and implement segregated recycling streams to reduce waste. Reducing reliance on single-use plastics and void fill can have an immediate positive environmental impact. Also, integrate social safeguards. Ensure realistic performance targets, provide ergonomic design for workspace and establish transparent labor practices. These actions will improve worker productivity, reduce turnover and enhance the overall sustainability of the warehouse. So, dear students, today we covered the practical side of sustainable warehousing. What we explored? We explored the role of storage practices and how to reduce waste. Water use and harvesting, which can contribute to sustainability. We have also looked at the social dimension, which is emphasizing worker welfare and ethical labor practices. So, as future supply chain managers, you must approach sustainability holistically. This means integrating energy efficiently, waste reduction and worker welfare into your decisions. Sustainable warehousing doesn't just reduce cost, it improves worker satisfaction, enhances brand reputation and contributes to the broader goal of a sustainable supply chain. So, in the upcoming week, we will explore sustainable transportation and dive deeper into green logistics concept, continuing to build on the sustainable practices we have discussed. Thank you, and I look forward to engaging with you in our discussion forum.